Morning traders. Moving on to the DAX. The DAX is still really much in limbo. Nothing's really changed on the weekly from the last 3-4 days. We still have the diversions. You can see here, moving to the upside and price moving to the downside. We're also still hovering just below the 76.4 Fibonacci retracement. Okay, so there is obviously a level there that we haven't yet tested. So the longer we sit and hover like this, the more of a chance we have of hitting that level there before moving to the downside. Okay, so that is, well, there's two levels here, which obviously the bulls are chasing, which are those two there. Okay, so let's just get down to the daily, see what the daily gave us. The daily didn't really give us anything. Now, all it's really done is just a slight little pullback, but if you look carefully, you will see that this pullback is pretty much a bull flag. Okay, so I'm still kind of cautious to the upside, and I'm also cautious of going in short at the moment. So it's really much a sit on my hands type setup at the moment. I'm not willing to leave any trades in. And if you look at the broader picture here, you'll see there's nothing really to stop this at the moment. So where we're hovering is on the top of this tail here. Okay, that's kind of where we're hovering. And you see there we've had 3 days just hovering at that level. So yeah, ideally I'd like to see us either just break above this level and go and tag these levels before we do a retracement, or move into a broader range. But this little tight range that we have here is very difficult to trade. If we come down to the 4-hour, okay, so there's a couple of things that are happening on the 4-hour. You can see how Chickaspan is coming into price, which indicates range, no direction, no VUMA. We have a double top on the OBV, whereas price has been moving to the downside. Okay, so nothing much to write home about here. This is kind of a flag. We have had a bullish crossover, but the resistance here, the thickness of the cloud is massive. So in my mind, we're probably this move to the upside is going to continue. And it'll continue for these two targets here. Okay? And the trick right now is you want to try and get in on this. I think we've got this a little bit wrong. Let's just get a different segment in here. Well, it doesn't really matter how you look at it. Drawing it like that, we have a megaphone, which is a flag essentially. Drawing it like that, we have a channel. So, and then drawing it like that, we have a flat bottom triangle. So there are two scenarios that we have here, and one is the upside and one is the downside. So how unique is that? Price can only go up or down, right? Okay, so I think what I'm going to you see, so again, that's why I say sit on hands type environment. So whatever, if you're looking for longs on the break of this channel here, your stop needs to be below this tail, because a break below here will bring this triangle into play and will move to the downside. So we are still pretty bullish on ichimoku. But let's just get down to the 1 hour and let's just have a look what we got here. And you can see how yesterday played out. I mean, we moved down sharply, we moved up sharply. And that was the end of the day. So, in my mind, the fact that we moved down we found buyers here quite quickly and pushed it up and then ranged, we have a probability of a break to the upside. So let's just look at this from ichimoku perspective right now. So Chikuspan has broken through price. It's just got the cloud that it needs to break through, but the cloud is quite narrow, right? We have had a twist and we've had a crossover. So we've got 3 bullish signals and we've broken through the cloud. So we've got 4 bullish signals. So there is a pretty good probability that we break to the upside here. And I'm going to delete the channel for now. And we'll go back and work out those measured moves now. But I've just seen something else here which probably makes a little bit more sense since it is on the 1 hour time frame. So you can see how we have consolidated on the 1 hour, and we're consolidating inside and outside the cloud. So this is really gives me an indication that a break of this trend line here, which will be the broader flag, will give us a move to the upside. Okay, now targets are obviously going to be that area, before we start moving to those areas up there. So let me just get down to the 4 hour. And okay, so there are going to be a couple of areas. So this would be the most logical measured move to start with. Okay, so if I just do that, so you can take your measured move from this bottom, and this bottom, and you need to work your way backwards. Okay, so this is the first measured move. And the reason why I say you need to look at all 3 is because you don't know how these algos are trading. So the algorithms could see something that you don't see. Okay, so measured move from here, there, consolidation, break will give us 13112, and we're pretty close to that target there. So that would make sense, okay? And let's just delete this. And if we take the measured move from the next pullback, that also takes us to that area. And the last one, which to me is the one, so you've had a pullback here, you've had a reasonable pullback here, you've had a reasonable pullback here. So for me, it would be somewhere from this area here that I'd be looking at. So it's from there to there to there, and that takes us beyond this level. Okay, so this is definitely an area that wants to be tagged, and it's going to take a lot. I mean, it's going to take a lot for it not to be tagged. So I think for today, we need to watch this triangle. Whatever happens on this triangle is going to dictate what goes on, and you can see how this longer term downtrend is forming part of the triangle. So as soon as I see this kind of pattern, I'm hyper aware to any break above sort of this tail here. So as soon as we break above these highs here, and we have an hour close above these levels, then it's game on, and we can start looking for a stronger moves to the upside. Okay, so right now this is just consolidation, and we've had 1, 2, 3 attempts to the downside. Okay, we've had 3 attempts to the downside, but we've also had 1, 2, 3 to the upside. So very much indecision at the moment. So for me, I don't see it. I really can't see it pulling back at the moment. I think this thing is going to break up, and you'll always see it whenever you're in a bigger triangle like this, and price gets to the triangle, and then it sits in a very tight consolidation phase, right on the trend line, like it's doing now. And then typically it breaks, and it breaks with with a lot of vum and speed and start hitting the targets as quickly. So I think that's what we're going to have today, and that's kind of the play that I'm going to execute today. So I don't think we'll get a pullback really. I think it's going to be probably a small gap up, and maybe the pullback will be to test this trend line, to test this triangle break here. And if that happens, then definitely there is a long entry there, and your stop is going to be on the other side of this triangle. Okay, so it's a nice 40-point stop loss that you're looking at. Okay, guys, so that's the DAX, and looking at the DAX at the moment, that's probably my best trade for the morning. Looking for a long on the break of this trend line, and preferably I need a break and a retest. And it will be a long to medium term trade, proper swing trade that we're going to hold for these targets up here. So what are we looking at? We are going to be looking at around 200 points on the DAX. Okay, guys, that's the DAX. Hope it helps, and I'll catch you guys later.